Hello. So today we are going to start our writing for e-learning. So we are on Tuesday. Um, and hopefully you don't hear my dogs in the background and all of the crazy things that are happening outside of my house right now. We have people working on our yard, so it's just extremely loud. So let's go ahead and get into the writing. Writing will probably not be the same from week to week. So, as you know, we do not have an FSA test for writing. I know we worked very hard. It is canceled. We do not have it. We're not taking it. With that being said, we will come back to that type of writing, just not right now. We're going to take a break. So, we're going to be doing that writing routine that we started, where I give you a sentence and we kind of talk together about what we notice, and then we compare some sentences, and then you write your sentence on your own. So obviously, we aren't face to face right now, so it will be a little difficult for us to have a conversation, but I do expect for you to think about what you notice in these sentences. Okay, so our learning intention for writing. Today, I can show an action or use with ing adjectives. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense right now. We're going to get into that in just a moment. Our success criteria. I can write down, so you will physically write down somewhere, either in a journal or on a Word document, one thing you notice after looking at the sentence that will be given. And then I can identify an example of a verb and add ing to the end to make it an adjective. Now I understand this is going to be confusing at first. Hang on with me. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into this sentence. So we are going to identify something we notice about this sentence, and it can be something really small or something really complicated. Oh, let me see if I can go back. No. Okay. Pause for a second. Okay. So let's go back, giving you all the answers. Okay. You know, technology sometimes, it just gotta go with it. Okay, so this says, a snake slithers through rustling leaves and climbs up into a tree. So I'm going to give you a moment. Think about one thing that you notice about this sentence. Now, if we were together in person, I'd have you write it down somewhere. So I expect for you to think about one thing you notice in this sentence. I'll give you a moment. Okay. So some noticings. You could have noticed capital letters. It did capitalize, the author capitalized the beginning of the sentence, which we always need to do. There's punctuation. All right, now if we get a little bit deeper and think about what is this sentence about, when we're doing our writing, we often identify a topic. In this case, it's a subject. So the subject, the idea that the sentence is about is a snake. Verbs. So a verb is an action. A verb is something that you can do. So you can slither and you can climb. So the sentence said that the snake slithered and climbed. And then an adjective. So an adjective is a word that describes something else. We had the adjective of rustling. It says rustling leaves. So the author is using the word rustling to describe the leaves. We're actually going to be focusing on this word this week of rustling, because that word, when we take off the ing, is actually rustle. And leaves can rustle, and we can use that as an adjective. So when we take ing off of an adjective, sometimes it can be a verb, and we're going to be looking at that a little bit closer today. All right, so our focus for this week with our routine will be I can change a verb to an adjective by adding ing to the end. Now, it gets a little bit more complicated than that, and we're going to get into that tomorrow. But today I just want to introduce you to taking a verb, taking off the end of the word, and adding ing. So that's the only thing we're going to be doing today for writing. So you will be submitting this in ETSB. So I gave you a few examples. So the first word that we have is cut. We know that we can cut something, and so therefore that is a verb. Now, if we were to add ing, we would add a t, and then we are going to add ing. So now the new word is cutting. And we can actually use this as an adjective. And again, I'll get into that more tomorrow. All right, then we have slice. Now, when we have a word that ends in an E, we always want to get rid of the E, so drop the E and add ing. So now we have the new adjective of slicing. All right, and then the last word is sparkle. And again, if we take off the E and add ing, we have sparkling. So what you are going to do is you are going to write down 3 verbs. You are going to change them to an adjective by adding ing. So you are going to be submitting this in Etsy under verb to adjective day 1. And that's it for the writing routine. Now what we're really going to get into today is a journal that we're going to be starting and hopefully keeping up with as we go through this pandemic. So right now, I don't know if you know this, but you are living in a history event, a historical event. And so we have talked a few times this year about a first-hand account, a primary source, and time capsules. And so you're probably asking, what do all of those things have in common? Well, we read about time capsules and we identified, shoot, now I'm forgetting, whether or not we should have time capsules. And so you had to read 3 articles and then write about whether or not we should have time capsules. And so you learned about all of the different uses of time capsules. We read about different examples. And in a time capsule, those are primary source documents or objects, which mean that they came right from the source. And then if we found any letters in a time capsule, that would mean that it's a first-hand account, meaning that whoever wrote about the event was there to witness it. Now, since you are living in history right now, we're going to start making a journal that you can use later to show your kids or your family in 20 years and say, look, I lived through this time and this may or may not ever happen again. I know that this is a really scary time. It really is. But I think that this would be a good opportunity for us to go ahead and document our experiences so that we can look back on this time and be like, wow, look at what I lived through. So our learning intention today is I can write a journal entry documenting history while incorporating an opener or closer phrase. I'm going to show you an example of that in a moment. We had worked so much with opener and closer phrases. All right, so we are going to make our own time capsule. So you can do this in Microsoft Word on your computer and just save it in a folder and label your folder as time capsule and then just link it in the Etsy assignment that I'm going to upload. Or you can have your own journal, your like actual something you can hold and keep forever and just take a picture of it and upload it into the assignment. But today for your journal, I want you to write 1 paragraph. So make sure it's 1 paragraph. Do not send back a sentence or a half a sentence journaling. That is not a journal. We are going to make 1 sentence, or 1 paragraph. 1 paragraph is 4 to 6 sentences. And I know some of you are able to write more than that. So please take your time today. This is our writing assignment and you will submit it and I'm going to give you feedback. So today, document how you felt when you learned that school would be canceled until April. Make sure to explain why school is canceled. What is happening in the world today? So you are going to basically write a letter. You're going to write a journal entry explaining how you felt when you learned that school was canceled, but also explain the events. What is happening today? Why is school canceled? And then I included the date. So the last date that we were in the classroom is 3/13 if you would like to use that for your journal. All right, so here is my example. So I said today's date is 3/15. We just learned that school would be canceled for the next month until April 15th. Now notice right here, I put a dash and I wrote until April 15th. This is a closer phrase. A closer or an opener phrase is extra information that is added on to the sentence. And if we took it away, the sentence would still make sense. So you can use a dash or a comma for a closer phrase. I think it's more appropriate here to use a dash. What will I do with all of my time now? I guess you should probably know why school is canceled. Right now, the world is going through a pandemic. thousands of people are being infected with something called coronavirus, a very contagious disease. There's my closer phrase, so I now have 2 closer phrases in my paragraph. We have been asked to stay in our homes. Although I love to spend time inside, I don't want to do it every day for the next month. How will I survive? I'll keep you posted. Until tomorrow, Miss Bishop. So right here is my opener phrase. Although I love to spend time inside, I don't want to do it every day for the next month. If I were to take away that first phrase, although I love to spend time inside, I would still have a sentence that makes sense and is complete. So you are going to create a journal. You can either do it in a physical journal that you can hold. You can do it on a Word document. I'm going to have a link in Etsy for you to submit this. This is your writing assignment for Tuesday, so please make sure that you are staying caught up on your work. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.